the sad ending of Flappy Bird. Maybe you're too young to remember this story. But about 10 years ago, the creator of the world's most popular video game, the moment he announced he was going to remove it, the reason was so shocking that the world couldn't believe it. Flappy Bird came into the world in 2013. It would be in 2014 that it reached worldwide fame with millions of people playing it. The game was quite simple. There was a bird that had to go through several pipes, which they have different openings. Every time you touched the screen, the bird would call. And since the openings were at different heights, each tap on the screen lifted the bird. That you had to keep touching it, depending on whether you wanted it to fly or to stop playing if you wanted it to fall. At first, it was very simple, but later you had to combine multiple taps, as if the openings were too high or low. Sometimes you had to stop playing because the opening was too low. People thought this game was very easy, but not at all. Playing it was simple, but beating it was quite challenging. People get to know him through word of mouth. That's how he became popular and caught so much attention. It reached the first position in downloads for both iPhone and the Android store. The game cost nothing, but it had advertisements, so more people downloaded it. And suddenly, it started to generate so much money that the world wanted to know who had created and who was becoming a millionaire. The creator was Don Vunje. Tom was from Vietnam and he was young, and he was surprised by the madness that was happening with his video game. He was making $50,000 a day. By God, this figure was unimaginable for an indie game created by a completely unknown person before in the high-level video game world. But this success began to concern Dom in a brutal way. For me, but not for the money, but for another, more important reason. That's why The Void sent a message which people couldn't believe. And it was that, in the first days of February 2024, just 10 days after his game became so famous, he posted a message to the world. He said, the 100 Flappy Bird players in 22 weeks, 2 hours to beat. Again, I can continue with this one. That's when the conspiracy theories started. Some said that since this game was quite similar to the old Super Mario Bros. Games, it would contain with a similar bird, and just like Mario, you had to touch it for it to swim up or stop touching it for it to go down. Nintendo would be suing them, and that even received threats, because we know the Japanese don't play around. Even though they are very nice people, well, intellectual properties and copyright issues are brutal. Others brought out other conspiracy theories, saying that the game had been created by a government agency of some powerful country, so people would download an app to their phones and thus be controlled. And with these conspiracy theories came many more. But still, Don is not a man. That's when the game, just as he had predicted, vanished. So, immediately low-quality copies came out, but they couldn't match the level of the original video game. There were people who loved the video game so much, loved the game so much, loved the video game so much, loved the video game so much. No, he was serious with this game, trying to buy phones that had downloaded it. And their phones began to be sold online and at extremely high prices. That's how the creator of Flappy Bird remained silent for quite some time. Until he finally decided to reveal the truth and explain what had happened. Who created something that was a vice? It was too addictive. His intention was to create a game that people could enjoy for 10 minutes, be relaxed, and have a good time. But people didn't do that. They started to get hooked and obsessed with the game and tried to reach the highest score, dedicating hours and hours. Hours, days, and days into this game. That's why I couldn't sleep, by what it had cost. Seeing people so crazy about his game, completely losing their minds, was what made him take it down. He even said, and quoted, he had received emails from Flappy Bird fans claiming it was so engaging. As a therapeutic substance, terrible. And this frustrated people. When Flappy Bird was taken down, people realized this man also had other quite successful games, like Shuriken Block or Super Bowl. Topped for him, these were harmless. Studies said that if they became as addictive as Flappy Bird, they wouldn't hesitate to remove them. They studied the game and found out that playing it was quite simple. And a conclusion, something to be so eye-catching doesn't have to be so complicated. Now Dom's Twitter account isn't here much anymore. That's why many wonder what happened to Dom. This man who could have earned too much money at unimaginable levels, but chose not to, because he knew what his game cost in people. Now tell me, what do you think?